Hi everyone, I'm John from the Consumer and Devices team here at Microsoft, and I'm joined with a very special guest today, Mike Nash from HP.
Hey John, how are you?
Doing well, thanks for coming, Mike.
Super psyched to be here.
Yeah, so we've got some awesome new premium devices to talk about. Just announced last month and now shipping just in time for holidays, right?
For sure.
So the Spectre 13 and the Spectre x360.
Yeah, I have to say, I can't be more excited about the HP line of premium PCs. We call them Spectre. That's our sort of most premium brand that we sell in the consumer space. And there's a number of different members of the family, but two new ones that launched just last month that are just now in stores. Are pretty exciting. The first is the Spectre 13. And both these products, John, I think really are a great example of HP's brand promise, which is all around the notion of reinvent. We launched the first version, for example, of the Spectre 13 back in April of 2016. And at the time, the whole idea was, can we build the world's thinnest clamshell? At the time, 10.4 millimeters was the thinnest clamshell. It's still the thinnest full Core I. The other ones are sort of a Y series, or what was called Core I, but really the full processor device. And at the time we built this device, there was a number of little compromises we had to make. In order to get it to be just 10.4 millimeters, we didn't have room, as you mentioned, for a touchscreen. At 10.4 millimeters, battery life was a little bit tight. Audio wasn't quite where we wanted it to go. We could only go initially to an FHD panel because the parts weren't available. In the meantime, we've been continuously listening to customers, reinventing. This generation is just the same thickness at 10.4 millimeters. It has Windows Hello camera now, which it didn't have before. We now have support for 4K screens as an option for FHD or 4K with touch always. This device has much better audio. We're able to use new battery technology to move things around and make more room for louder, better, more premium audio, which we're pretty excited about. This device also, one of the things I love about it is this new color, this white, which is actually applied using a new approach called AED. What AED lets us do is to apply this thing. It's a little bit more complicated process. It lets us deliver a white that can be cleaned, and a white that's much more durable, more scratch resistant. So you buy it in this color, this white with the gold accents, or in ash silver with copper accents. But the whole idea here is to make sure we've just got a great experience. And by the way, at 10.4 millimeters, we still have room for 3 USB Type-C jacks, 2 of which support Thunderbolt. So you can use it to plug in.
That's really key for your power users, right?
Yeah, a way to drive much more high resolution display, super high throughput to external devices, just an overall great experience. And again, reinventing what was already a great device, now with better battery life, over 11 hours, super audio, lots of video choices, and the different ways to log on that people love. And again, when you try this device out, you'll find the touchpad is now the same aspect ratio as the screen. Keyboard that has amazing keyboard action. We've measured the force curves of the keyboard, so you can have a really super positive customer experience when you use that device.
I feel like it's probably hard to pick up on the camera fully, but I mean, it is just so thin. And it's just under 2.5 pounds, right?
Yep.
And the fact that you're able to cram Windows Hello and a touchscreen into that thin of a profile.
For sure.
Really impressive engineering.
Yeah, the new keyboard layout has this set of home row keys. We move the audio from the sides to the top as the device gets thinner and thinner. Much narrower bezels, by the way, in this new generation.
Oh yeah.
So it's narrower,
the footprint's a little
and
smaller.
it's shorter. Same thickness, better performance, better battery life. This thing, if I didn't mention, has the latest generation, 8th generation Intel Core I processors.
Right.
Quad core in both Core i7 and Core i5.
Well, that is really something too, yeah. And these are some of the first devices hitting the market now with 8th gen. So.
Yeah, we also love little things like using low power memory, so that when the device is asleep or when it's running, it's a bit more power efficient to give customers better battery life, both when you're using it, but also when it's asleep.
Very cool. Well, I think that's a great overview of the Spectre 13. Now let's shift over here and look at the x360 version.
Yeah, the x360, again, is another great example of this whole notion of reinvent. Now the third generation of the Spectre x360 and the 13. So why have both? This device, in addition to being a phenomenal clamshell, is also a 360. This device a little bit thicker, a little bit heavier, just under 2.8 pounds. So you get a bit more battery life, 15, 16 hours of battery life on this device.
15 or 16 hours?
15, in that range. Again, so much more battery life because there's a little bit more battery in here. It's a little bit thicker, a little bit heavier, making room for that battery.
It's funny that we talk about things that are under 3 pounds as heavy at this point, huh?
Yeah, it's a really tough call because I think there are some people that want to have something that's super, super thin and like really, really light. but this isn't that much heavier or that much thicker,
Right.
but you're getting a lot more for it. And again, there's a customer for both of these products. The key thing is to give customers those choices. This device also has the benefit, because it's a tablet as well, of having pen support. So using and leveraging the work that Microsoft has done in the Creators Update to deliver a phenomenal pen experience, we've also innovated on the pen. This pen can be a remote mouse to point to the screen. This pen has a eraser on the back and buttons that work over Bluetooth. Also, instead of having batteries you have to replace, this thing is now rechargeable. So over a USB-C connector, in under about 3 minutes, you can put hours of charge on the device.
That is a nice feature.
Convenience-wise and environmentally, just a much better thing for customers as well.
So there's something I'm noticing here as I'm looking at this. It's actually powered on, but I can barely see the screen at all.
Yeah, that's on purpose. We actually have a new feature in this device called SureView, something that we actually developed in the consumer line. I don't know if you've ever done this. Commercial line, excuse me. But if you're actually on a plane sometime, you sort of peek over and see someone's screen, I'm sure you never did it on purpose. But we know that about 90% of the time when people try to visually hack somebody, they're successful. It's just so easy to sort of peer over and see what's going on.
Right.
A lot of times when people put film on their PC or those removable screens, they're not a great experience. They get dust in them and the like.
Kind of decreases the brightness, I've found.
It does. So what we've done is actually to build a privacy screen as an option on many of our commercial products. I did it again. And on many of our commercial products. And we actually have brought that technology called SureView down to our consumer products. What SureView is technology built into the screen where I can turn the privacy screen on by pressing a button. So when privacy is turned on, outside of about 35 degrees left to right, I can't see a thing. But if I want to use my device to watch a movie with my wife, I press the button again, and it's got a full widescreen view. So it's button to turn it on, button to turn it off. And when it's on, I know when I travel, I'm now only using a device with SureView. I'm reading mails, I'm looking at company confidential information. It made complete sense in the commercial space. In consumer, imagine you're a student taking a test. You don't want people to see over your shoulder. Or you're doing your checking account sitting at a coffee shop. Or you're doing social media. All these are different experiences where you may want that level of privacy because you're in a public space. With SureView, you can press that. It's an option on a number of our commercial devices. It's now an option on this consumer Spectre x360.
Wow, it's great to see that come over to the consumer side. So there's one other interesting new innovation I've seen on here, which is Windows Hello. I think more and more people are using biometrics and kind of becoming more familiar with that concept, right?
It's super interesting. I think a lot of times what we find is that this all-day battery life is happening because we have better battery life, but also because we have PCs that are designed to sort of go to sleep when you're not using them. When you want to bring them back, you press the space bar or the shift key, they come on, you can glance at the screen, and they unlock, and you're good to go again after saving the battery. Well, what if you're using it in a mode where using the Windows Hello camera isn't convenient? And what we really want to do is make a second option on this device to let you use your fingerprint to log on using Windows Hello. And on a clamshell, putting the fingerprint reader maybe on the palm rest makes a lot of sense. When using this thing in a tablet mode, it makes a little bit less sense. So what we decided to do was to put a fingerprint reader right here on the side of the device. So I can just touch my finger to the side, using it in tablet mode, in clamshell mode, or anything in between, and have a convenient way to log on. What I will tell you is on my device, I use both the camera and the fingerprint reader, because sometimes I want to log on by glancing. Sometimes I want to log on or unlock by touching my finger. With this device, I can pick as I go, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is really something. Well, I think that's an awesome overview of both of these products, Mike. I've got to say, just personal story, I used a Spectre x360 last generation for a while, and I've never had so many friends or family or people on airplanes or things stop and ask me, oh, what is that device? I mean, you really are hitting on some beautiful design. I think
I say when you build something like this, where you take a combination of insights that help you understand what customers' wants and needs are, and a beautiful industrial design, the whole word of mouth power when you're seeing these things on a plane or in a coffee shop, it's become really, really powerful, and we love that kind of feedback.
Yeah. Well, now both of these devices are shipping now, is that right?
Yeah, both available today. You can walk into Best Buy in the United States, buy either one of them. Of course, you can always check out hp.com. But I think the key thing here is, great examples of reinvent and innovation deliver just an awesome experience to our consumer customers.
Absolutely, and we're excited to have you as a Windows partner.
We love the partnership. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Mike.
Awesome, thank you.